We can't say we were shocked when the news of Mick Schumacher leaving Ferrari came up, because we all knew where he would turn to. The racer is about to join one of the teams his father was racing for because just a few days ago, Mercedes revealed that he'll be their reserve driver in 2023 following Hamilton and Russell. So let's dive into the details of this brilliant shift for Mick. First off, he sees that Mercedes has stepped up its game. The young pacer praised the brand's transformation and rapid growth ever since he sneakily visited them back in 2014. The German, who now drives for the same team as his father, Michael, claimed that things have improved dramatically since his previous visit to their factory and simulator, and that has impressed him to a great extent. It's obvious now that he's affiliated with the brand that he'd want it to be performing at its best, but it's meeting his standards quite well. While talking to Autosport, he stated that the level of progress seen within the team currently is remarkable, demonstrating why the entire organization works at such a high level without faltering. Elaborating on why things look much better to him now, he said that the modifications they've made to their system of running things and procedures are visibly working out for the team. The last time he went there was a random visit where he had to do his first simulator session, so we know that he's comparing the situation now to a long time ago. It's simply amazing for him to see how far the team has come. His expectations of the brand seem to be pretty fair, and considering how the racer had nothing bad to say about most of the things they've been doing, we can confidently say that Mercedes is on the right track. The fact that they take feedback seriously is enough to know that Mick will be happy there. Coming up, he hopes to contribute further to its growth. In terms of his hopes at Mercedes, the racer stated that he hoped to positively contribute to the team in the same way that his father did from 2010 to 2012. He went further into details, talking about how his dad was a member of the team for 2 years and laid much of the groundwork for what it is now. He expressed how glad and grateful he is to be a part of it right now. Not just that, but he hoped that perhaps in the future he'll be able to assist them to improve and give his experience to them whenever they need it. He's not trying to gatekeep anything, and the fact that he's going into it with such an open mind is very admirable to begin with. His dedication to his father's work and the future of the brand seems thoroughly clear through his words. The racer also discussed how he intends to contribute to the Mercedes operations as a backup driver, considering how he is one of the rarest reserve drivers who have driven an F1 car, which makes him an absolute catch. We know that he has tons to offer to the brand, and his being on board is a definite step toward better days. And these better days aren't just for the company, because Mick is hoping that coming together with Mercedes will help him improve his career even more, enabling him to have far more opportunities with F1. Moving on, he's among the best at what he does. He brings another layer to the value that other people can provide because he is among the few reserve drivers who have experience with an F1 car under the new rules and understands how the tires work. Mick talked about this, realizing that it's not very common to utilize a reserve driver who has driven the cars from the current era. He's fully familiar with the new tires, as well as what the car is all about and what it requires concerning driving style. So this is why he feels that maybe he'll be capable of contributing to that while also seeing what the drivers require from outside. Not just that, but he knows that simulator work will certainly be crucial. All in all, he realizes that they have a lot of work to do, and he'll be trying his best to add whatever he can to the best of his knowledge and experience. But even aside from that, we all know how down-to-earth this man is because he expressed how he's also looking forward to learning a lot of new stuff himself too. The knowledge he gains here is something he's hoping to bring into use for the rest of his career, and we're sure that this mutual understanding and relationship between the brand and the racer will take them places. Generally, adding this to his portfolio is a super impressive step in his career path, and we're more than excited to see what he achieves in the coming year. Now moving on to the racer's possible future with Mercedes. First off, Ralf Schumacher is all for Mick's learning. Now we might only be focusing on the present, but the racer's uncle has already thought of all the brilliant prospects that he might be getting in the future with Mercedes. According to him, the racer has a very eventual and long future with the brand. The majority of attention is focused on Audi, but still the uncle of the brand new Mercedes backup driver sees potential with Lewis Hamilton's contract expiring pretty soon. We can bet that none of you tried to see that far. In 2023, Mick will no longer have a permanent place in Formula One. Nico Hülkenberg's expertise was considered more highly at Haas, and the young German racer was replaced after 2 seasons. Still, the young Schumacher didn't let that be a major setback for himself and quickly found a place at Mercedes. Seeing how he'll continue through most of the 2023 working for the brand as a reserve driver, we know that things could start to get much better for him from here onwards. His uncle thinks the same, as he expressed how this is a fantastic chance for him because he can observe a top squad in action and learn a lot. His role as a reserve driver could help him learn a lot of new unfamiliar stuff, but even in this role, he could replace Hamilton or Russell at any point and get that experience firsthand. So he'll get to have experience with full-on racing, but he'll remain a reserve, which hopefully reduces the pressure and helps him get that essential expertise. Following up, hopes for a permanent seat may be brewing. A reserve driver having to replace the main drivers is something that has happened more frequently in the previous 3 years. And though Ralph admits that Hamilton is still the best driver in the world, he also acknowledges the fact that he is not the youngest anymore. As they say, time's tooth gnaws, which is why the uncle might be hoping for something pretty ambitious. According to him, his nephew has a solid chance of getting a permanent place at Mercedes in 2024. While explaining, he asked everybody to assume that George is once again faster than Lewis. Will the latter still keep going, even in that situation? Imagining this was super thrilling for Schumacher, but he noted that Lewis has enough faith in Mercedes to make the decision himself. Noting his further circumstances, he knew that in any event, money will not be an issue for Hamilton because he has far too much of it. The deciding aspect would probably be figuring out who best fits the new car. And in the uncle's eyes, his Schumacher nephew could be the next perfect fit. But still, it remains to be seen how many of Ralph's ideas eventually come true. It seems unbelievable that a racer who flopped at Haas will be given a chance at a leading team like Mercedes following a gap year in 2024. What's more, Hamilton has signaled a desire to extend his contract, which finishes at the end of 2023, leaving almost no room for the German to make his way to the top. Moving on, the Mercedes boss seems to favor Mick. After the news of the racer's departure from Haas, Mercedes chief Toto Wolff stated openly that he wanted to look after the German, citing his family's ties to Mercedes. Mick's 7-time champion father, Michael, raced for the brand in sports cars and DTM before becoming an F1 driver, including his career with the Silver Arrows in a 3-year stint from 2010 to 2012, while the racer's uncle Ralph, as well as his cousin David, have all raced for it in various divisions. Speaking of Schumacher, the team's 2 reserve drivers from 2022, Nick and Stoffel, have found slots at AlphaTauri in a proper racing seat, while Aston will still remain a reserve driver for next year. While talking about the talented Schumacher, Wolff stated that Mick is a brilliant young driver, and they're very thrilled to have him become part of their team. They see him as a dedicated worker who approaches things calmly and methodically, and he is still eager to learn and progress as a driver. These are all crucial qualities, and they're especially looking forward to having him assist them to create the W14. They also know that the 2 years of Formula One experience in his bag, he will be prepared to get into the car at a moment's notice to substitute either Lewis or George, if the need arises, and this sense of reliability can take someone a long way in their career. Finally, everybody's hopes are high. We can see how nicely the brand's bosses welcome the young racer, not just because of his talent, but also the fact that the Silver Arrows have had a pretty strong bond with the family, starting with Michael Schumacher himself. At this point, it was very essential for the racer to stay connected to F1, and getting things confirmed by Mercedes was the best thing they could have ever done to save the situation and make sure that Mick stays in practice, as well as in the eyes of the audience. We're super excited to see him carry the legacy of his dad in the coming year. And that's a wrap, folks. Do you guys think that Mick and Mercedes are a good combo? Tell us in the comments below, and as always, make sure to click that like button and subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on more updates on the sports world. See you in the next video.